I lost my legs trying to save Ryan. We'd been married for 3 years, and during that time, his friends and family never held back their disdain for me. They mocked me, belittled me, treated me like I didn't belong. I finally confronted him about it once, but he just tapped his forehead impatiently and said, "They're only stating the truth." Then he added, "I never asked you to save me," as if that excused everything. Nobody ever asked me if I wanted to save him either. At that moment, my youthful admiration for him crumbled into nothing. That night, I spiked his milk with sedatives. While he slept, I did something I never thought I was capable of. I amputated his legs. As he screamed in agony, I held him close, whispering, "Now you'll understand what it feels like." When he regained consciousness, I found myself 3 years in the past. Before the accident, before the pain, before the betrayal. Back when I still believed love could be enough. People online had opinions, of course. Some even praised Ryan for sticking with a disabled wife for so long. One comment stood out. "Maybe Ryan has some unusual preferences, and this disabled person is great in bed." Another read, "Chloe is deceitful, using her one leg to control Ryan forever." Those words echoed in my mind as I stood outside a hotel room where laughter spilled from inside. Fists clenched, I listened as someone said, "Surprise? No way. You can't really love that disabled person, can you?" After a pause, Ryan replied, "How could I? I mean, I don't have any strange preferences. It's frustrating seeing a disabled person every day. If it weren't for 3 years ago." His voice trailed off, but I heard enough. "What are you doing here?" he asked when he opened the door and saw me standing there. Well, sitting there, in my wheelchair. Everyone stared at me, some with mockery, others with pity. Ryan looked surprised, yes, but also relieved. He approached me with heavy steps and a tone full of reproach. "Don't you understand your own circumstances? Why are you here?" I stayed seated, locking eyes with him, subtly raising my phone. "You told me to come an hour ago." He sighed deeply and pushed me into the room. "Satisfied now?" he muttered under his breath. The men who had been laughing raised their hands, offering excuses. "We were just kidding. Wanted to see how much you care about Ryan." They explained that the message was sent from his phone, to test my love for him. Their disdain was obvious. I looked at Ryan, confused. He seemed to know all along. "I didn't realize you'd actually show up," he remarked, almost amused. He sensed my thoughts and tapped his forehead wearily. "Think about it. Even if I was drunk, couldn't my friends or drivers help get me home? What else could you do?" I followed his gaze down to my legs. "Do what?" "Probably panic and rush to get a taxi, annoying the driver to carry me in," I answered quietly. Reflecting on it later, I realized how foolish I had been. How eager I was to endure ridicule just to prove my love. With nothing left, I decided to leave. I bowed my head and turned my wheelchair toward the door. Someone blocked my path. "Don't leave so quickly. Chloe can't leave without a drink." A hand offered me a glass. "But I'm allergic to alcohol." I glanced at Ryan again. He chose silence. Facing the room filled with eager, judgmental gazes, I accepted the drink silently, as they anticipated, and then threw it at Chloe. She shrieked. Because I threw the drink at her. Before anyone could react, I activated the electric mode on my wheelchair and sped past the obstruction. Behind me, voices cursed, but I ignored them. I even politely shut the door behind me. Ryan caught up soon after, berating me. "Chloe, don't overdo it. They're all my friends." He reached out to grab me, but I resisted. "They're your friends, but I'm your wife. You protect your friends, but you ignore it when your wife is insulted." Ryan pursed his lips, showing guilt, but stubbornness too. I felt a deep sense of futility as I wheeled myself toward the main entrance. When he chased after me again, he tried to reason. "They might be a bit much, but it's all true." I didn't want to hear his nonsense anymore. Rubbing my tear-filled eyes, I tried to keep my voice steady. "Let's get a divorce." Ryan froze instinctively, refusing. "No, we can't get divorced." I stared at him, puzzled. Why? Then I heard myself say the words I hadn't wanted to admit. I heard it yourself. You don't love me. In the past, I had convinced myself that even though his friends didn't accept me, his love was enough. Today, hearing those words aloud, I realized how absurd I had been. The night air was chilly. Ryan took off his jacket and draped it over my lap. It's my fault. Those were just drunken words. Don't believe them. We won't get divorced. His familiar scent enveloped me, and I couldn't hold back my tears. He guided my wheelchair through the bustling streets, pushing me slowly down the sidewalk. He seemed lost in thought and didn't notice the pothole ahead until I warned him. After an apology, silence returned. I opened my mouth slightly. I hope you understand that if things are difficult, or if you don't love me anymore, we can get divorced. I had loved Ryan for 10 years, but that didn't mean I would cling to him forever. Unhappily, he responded. I said we won't divorce, Chloe. I closed my eyes, reminiscing about 3 years ago, when the lab ceiling collapsed. I had instinctively pushed Ryan aside to save him. I survived, but I lost feeling in my legs that day. Back then, I had planned to confess my feelings. I wanted to end my 7-year secret crush. But when I woke up, the first thing I saw was Ryan's intense gaze. Chloe, are you crazy? Who told you to interfere? My throat felt painfully dry. I wanted to reassure him that I liked him, that I wanted to support his family. My parents had died when I was young, and without his family's help, my life would have been tough. I tried to get up for a drink of water, only to realize I couldn't feel my legs. Ryan's guilt deepened. He held my hand. I'll be your legs from now on, Chloe. Let's get married. I admit, I was blinded by happiness at that moment. Okay, Ryan. I've liked you for 7 years. He held my hand tightly, saying nothing. I subconsciously ignored the hint of resentment in his eyes. When I woke up the next morning, Ryan was already gone. Warm milk sat on the nightstand. A note said, "Work has been hectic lately. Don't wait for me for dinner." I took a sip. It was sweet, but I never liked sweet milk. Loud bangs echoed outside the door, followed by morning shouts. It was Ryan's cousin, Chloe. I sighed deeply. She truly was a troublemaker. She affectionately wrapped her arm around me, but her eyes were full of sarcasm. You really know how to give my brother trouble, huh? She went on. Last night's party had several important connections. He needed your outburst to mess things up for him. So what are you going to do about it? I looked at her calmly. You can get Ryan to divorce me. After the initial thrill of happiness faded, I sensed Ryan's frustration too. He always kept a slight distance from me. His friends hadn't treated me that way at first. I understood they were just voicing what Ryan couldn't. So I had mentioned more than once. If it's out of gratitude for saving his life, there's no need. We can divorce. But he never agreed. Chloe sneered. You don't really think my brother won't divorce you because he likes you, do you? She forcefully dragged me into the wheelchair. I struggled, but it was futile. What could a disabled person do? She laughed softly near my ear. Come on. I'll show you something interesting. What she showed me was Ryan on a date with another woman, through the window of a couple's restaurant. I saw him fixing the girl's hair. His eyes full of love. Chloe pouted. See, that's the girl my brother really likes. I didn't understand. Then why doesn't he divorce me? I'm not the one clinging to him. Chloe snapped. Because you used saving his life to blackmail him. If he divorces you, people will see him as ungrateful. Stop pretending to be noble. Wasn't this all part of your plan? I couldn't comprehend why everyone thought I saved Ryan with ulterior motives. I only lost my legs. But he lost his freedom. The two inside didn't notice me at first. I chuckled softly, maneuvered closer, and lightly tapped the glass. Chloe didn't expect that. Her face stiffened. What are you doing? How amusing. She brought me here but only allowed me to leave heartbroken. Too late to stop me now. They noticed us, shocked and panicked. Ryan quickly appeared in front of me. "Emma, listen to me," he said, glaring at Chloe. "Who told you to bring her here?" Chloe sulked. "I was thinking of you too. You and Sophia have been in love for years." I stood there dumbfounded. In love for years. Back then, before I confessed, I had subtly asked Ryan if he had a girlfriend. He said no. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the courage. "Emma, go home first," Ryan scolded Chloe, then called a car for me. "Wait," I raised my hand. "I want to talk to the lady inside." Ryan frowned unhappily. I gently held his hand. "You better listen to me, or I don't mind shouting cheater on the street. I'm used to strange looks. I'm immune to them. The embarrassment will be all theirs." His frown deepened, but he obviously cared about the person inside. Moments later, he pushed me into the restaurant. "Ryan, is this your wife, the one who saved you?" the woman asked, recognizing me. She propped her head with one hand, smiling at me. "Hi, I'm Sophia. Ryan's first love." Just like everyone else, she acted friendly but was full of malice. Ryan took Chloe and sat nearby, watching us worriedly. Sophia leisurely stirred her coffee. "Emma, you know, if it weren't for you, I'd be the one married to Ryan." "I didn't know," I told her. "I'd never seen you in his circle." She looked up somewhat wistfully. "We had a secret relationship. Because of my family. Ryan said his family wouldn't approve. Only Chloe supported us. We dated in secret for 2 years before the accident. We were ready to come clean to our families, but then the earthquake happened, and I ruined it. No wonder Chloe hated me when she found out I was marrying Ryan. Was it really my fault? I had confirmed multiple times whether Ryan had a girlfriend. He chose to hide the truth, and then decided to marry me after the earthquake." Sophia saw my thoughts and laughed softly. "Aren't you curious why he insisted on marrying you?" I looked up instinctively, sensing the answer wouldn't be good. "Because he found your secret love diary." Her voice carried hatred. "He found it after you lost your legs and while you were unconscious. His mother saw it too. She was kind-hearted. Our families were old friends. She asked Ryan, 'Do you like Emma?' hoping if we had mutual feelings we could be together. Ryan thought it was pressure from the elders. 'I will marry her,' he said, abandoning me due to what he thought was family pressure. So that's how it happened." I remembered how eagerly I had confessed my feelings when I discovered Ryan wanted to marry me. It was laughable. He could have divorced me, but he didn't. That's what I didn't understand. Sophia gave a mocking smile. "Because you're useful. Ryan is at a crucial moment for his promotion. How would people react if they knew he abandoned the person who saved his life? Emma, you've already made things difficult for him once. Don't do it a second time." So scheming. Who knows if my parents' death wasn't karma? That line crossed a line I couldn't forgive. I splashed my coffee in her face. She could say whatever she wanted, but bringing up my late parents? Absolutely not. "Emma, what are you doing?" Ryan rushed to shield Sophia. I pointed at her. "She insulted my parents." Sophia was in tears. "I didn't. I was just explaining our past." Ryan glared at me. "Apologize." I looked at them for a while and then smiled. "Okay. Before I apologize, can I have a word with you, Ryan?" He didn't speak, but that meant he agreed. "Come closer. It's something I want to tell you alone." He walked over and bent down slightly. I slapped him with all my strength. "Divorce." Ryan's face turned completely black. "Emma, I told you, we can't divorce." "Oh, we can't divorce. So you care that much about your reputation," said. "But this time, I'm done sacrificing myself for you. Then wait for the lawsuit." I turned my wheelchair to leave, but was yanked off violently. I was thrown to the ground. Ryan's eyes were bloodshot. "Divorce? Look at you, a cripple. Who would want you?" I stared at him in disbelief, unable to believe he said that. "Am I a burden by birth?" Ryan was furious. "Yes. To save me. You're my great benefactor. Did I beg you to save me? Did anyone ask if I wanted it? I'd rather be crippled myself. Do you know how much pressure this guilt has put on me? Do you know how much I've lost because of this favor? He vented about the pressure of owing me half his life. I looked at him, dumbfounded, as the faint scent of alcohol clung to his breath. Under immense humiliation, I lost control. Something I hadn't expected. Ryan noticed immediately and gently placed me back in my wheelchair. Look at yourself, he said coldly. What can you even do without me now? He covered me with his jacket, trying to mask his disdain. I'll take you back. Just calm down. He called a cab, and the driver, a plump middle-aged woman, seemed to already know what to expect. He had probably given her instructions beforehand, maybe even slipped her extra money to help push me home. She gave me a cheerful hand gesture before leaving, likely worried about my state of mind. Life still has hope, she might have thought. But she didn't need to worry. I wouldn't take my own life. Not because I was strong, but because just half an hour ago, I'd received a strange message from someone I didn't know. It was a chat screenshot between Ryan and another person. Your wife is determined to divorce you, huh? Looks like your loving husband persona won't work anymore. No worries though. If one path doesn't work, we'll take another. Remember that other boss I mentioned? He loves playing with disabled people. Emma fits the bill right. Since she's divorcing you anyway, take this chance to catch her in the act. Accuse her of cheating. That way, you won't have to take the blame for abandoning your savior. Tomorrow night at 9. Don't say I never gave you a chance. The message went on, but Ryan's single-word reply, okay, made me feel utterly hopeless. Blaming me for saving him, adding pressure, and now trying to squeeze every last bit of value out of me to pave his way forward. I don't know who sent me that message, but whoever it was, I'm grateful. When Ryan returned later that night, he reeked of alcohol. He wobbled over and squatted in front of me. I'm sorry I was a jerk today. Let's not get a divorce, okay? I looked at him calmly, offering a gentle smile. Okay, really? I nodded and handed him a cup of hot milk. I was wrong too. Drink this. Sober up. Then I dropped the bomb. I booked a ticket to the Maldives for tomorrow. How about we go on a trip together? He panicked, then looked confused. Tomorrow? Let's talk tomorrow, I said sweetly, handing him the milk. He drank it all. The drug took effect quickly, as expected. Soon Ryan was unconscious. It's truly troublesome when you can't walk. It took me 2 whole hours to saw off his legs. He woke up midway, screaming uncontrollably, forcing me to stuff a towel in his mouth. He shook his head desperately, begging silently. I tried to comfort him. Don't worry. I won't kill you. Just taking your legs. You didn't care for them anyway. So give them to me. Muffled noises came from behind the towel. Probably more pleas. I plastered the chat log onto his face. He finally quieted down, left only with pain and despair. As dawn broke, I finished removing both legs. The knife had gone blunt. Ryan passed out several times but kept waking up again. After finishing, I pulled the towel from his mouth. He was barely breathing. Emma, he whispered weakly. Whatever he was about to say, I stuffed the towel back in. I didn't want to listen. I realized too late. My life was already ruined the moment I lost my legs. Since he wanted to completely ruin me, I decided to ruin him first. I lit the coal in the room, holding the whimpering man as he drifted into sleep. Perfect timing for eliminating a beast in human form. I didn't expect to open my eyes again. The numbness in my legs made me widen my eyes in shock. I was reborn, back before the accident happened. I jumped up, startling everyone else in the lab. Ben asked if I was okay. I stared at my legs, giving a distracted reply. I was back in my 2nd year of graduate school. Back when, to be closer to Ryan, I chose the same major and even joined the same research group. But that accident had made me abandon my studies. Feeling the strength in my legs again, I trembled with excitement. Now it was May 8th, 12:07 p.m., 10 minutes before the ceiling started to come loose and fall. I once risked my life to push Ryan aside, ending up trapped under the fallen ceiling myself. "Emma, what's wrong?" A pair of big hands touched my forehead. It was Ryan. "You've got a fever. Need me to get you a day off?" I instinctively avoided his hand. His eyes showed a hint of hurt. My strange behavior caught others' attention. "Are you two having a lover's quarrel?" someone joked. Normally, I was always chasing after Ryan. He neither accepted nor rejected me, so everyone jokingly called us a couple. "No," I replied quickly. "He has a girlfriend. We have nothing to do with each other." This lifetime I felt unlucky just being associated with him. Seeing my quick rejection and mentioning his secret girlfriend, Ryan was slightly stunned. In a low voice he asked, "Emma, is there some kind of misunderstanding between us?" I looked at him and suddenly understood. There was something strange going on. At this point in time, Ryan already had a girlfriend, but he still flirted with me ambiguously, not willing to admit it even when I pointed it out. Was he trying to have an exciting affair while still enjoying my affections? So the person I once liked turned out to be rotten from the very start. "Watch out!" someone shouted, interrupting my thoughts. The ceiling started to fall, just like in my past life. Ryan was standing right in the center of it, and I was only at the edge. Last time, I ignored my own safety to push him out of the way. This time, I ran away from the danger. "Emma!" Ryan called out in disbelief. The next second, the ceiling crashed down. Ryan cried out and then passed out. Out of moral obligation, I still called 911. The doctor later said Ryan's legs were crippled, and he would be confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I barely managed to keep from laughing out loud. "Emma, why didn't you save me?" Ryan woke up, his voice hoarse and tearful, as if I were the ungrateful one. "You could have pushed me out of the way," I said, tilting my head. Ryan dropped the act. "I know you're back too." He was asking why I didn't save him, revealing that he was also reborn. His face flushed with embarrassment. He had intended to gain the moral high ground and make me feel guilty. I sat next to him and gently patted his legs. "Ryan, your legs are ruined. Do you remember what you said to me in our previous life?" I leaned in closer. "Did I beg you to save me? Did anyone ask if I was willing? I would rather have been the crippled one myself." I smiled at him. "You didn't want to, right? Now congratulations, you got what you wished for. You don't have to feel guilty because of me now. You only lost your legs, but you're upright and don't have to bear any unnecessary responsibilities." Ryan sat there, dumbfounded, his face a mix of emotions. "Emma, I never realized you were such a psycho. Can't you tell the difference between angry words and real ones?" His current look overlapped perfectly with how he brazenly told me in our past life that he didn't need me to save him. If I saved him, he blamed me. If I didn't save him, he still blamed me. Anger surged up in me, and I slapped him. "You know I'm crazy and still dare to talk back? Want to lose your other leg too?" Hearing my words, Ryan suddenly shivered. Too many things happening one after another. He almost forgot how miserably he died in the previous life. I must have lost my mind. I've always disliked women like you. Not being bound this lifetime is actually a good thing. 10 minutes later, Chloe rushed in with a worried look on her face. Ryan's father, Alex, was on a business trip and couldn't come back, leaving her to bear such bad news alone. "Auntie, don't be too sad. At least he's alive." "Being alive is good," she said, trying to comfort me. Chloe wasn't bad to me in my previous life, but she wasn't all that great either. Before I married Ryan, she truly treated me like a daughter. But after the marriage, although she genuinely cared for me, her concern couldn't withstand the passage of time or her son's constant influence. "Emma, watch your words," Ryan said anxiously. He didn't want Chloe to worry, but now he couldn't even turn himself over. "Auntie, thank you for taking care of Ryan," Chloe sobbed, holding my hand. "I know you have feelings for Ryan. In this situation, she started crying again. I understood what she meant. She was worried Ryan would end up alone, just like she once worried about me. I spoke without reservation. Auntie, I only see Ryan as a brother. Besides, Ryan has a girlfriend. Chloe looked at Ryan in disbelief. Is what Emma said true? Ryan pressed his lips together. He didn't want to reveal it so soon, but now I forced him to. I added helpfully. I've already notified her to come. I don't want to be a homewrecker. I hope you understand. Just as I finished speaking, Sophia, wearing a white dress, appeared at the door. She reacted similarly to Chloe, shocked and in tears. Chloe had met Sophia before. She didn't quite like the girl, perhaps because Sophia had 2 older sisters and a younger brother. Such a family background didn't match with her sons. But given the situation, Chloe couldn't say much. She used the excuse of getting some food to leave Ryan and Sophia alone. Sophia, with her tear-streaked face, looked immensely pitiful. Ryan avoided her gaze. Emma, you shouldn't have called her here. In my condition, how can I? He couldn't finish, as a yellowish stain spread on the bedsheets. Sophia instinctively took 2 steps back, a slight trace of disgust in her eyes. Ryan noticed it, and his pride was shattered. Emma! He looked at me with pleading eyes. I remained unmoved. What do you expect me to handle this? Your girlfriend is here. Isn't this more appropriate? After scolding Ryan, I turned to Sophia. Sophia, I've heard bits and pieces of your love story. If you 2 are so in love, you're supposed to be together for life. And now, you should start learning how to take care of a disabled person. Under my relentless urging and moral coercion, Sophia struggled to help Ryan up. The bathroom door slammed shut, and I didn't miss the look of resentment on Sophia's face. Chuckled. When things went south for me, they could indulge in their lofty, unrequited love in a different situation. Under life's pressures, could they still stand firm? After briefly explaining things to Chloe, I left. Ryan had his mother and his girlfriend. He certainly didn't need me hanging around. I lived my life as usual, attended classes as usual. Could walk freely, run freely. The long-lost sense of freedom enchanted me. I heard that Ryan was stubbornly doing rehab every day, but sadly there was no progress. Chloe contacted me frequently, often expressing her dissatisfaction with Sophia. Apparently, Sophia didn't take care of Ryan as well as I did. Ryan wanted to get in touch too, but I'd blocked all his contact info. 3 months later, while dining with my team members, I ran into Ryan and Sophia. Sophia was pushing Ryan toward us, and neither of them looked good. Sophia was busy scolding Ryan and didn't notice me. What are you doing here? Are you trying to embarrass me? The disdain in her voice sharply contrasted with how gently Ryan used to treat her. It wasn't surprising Sophia got mad. I had quietly investigated. Ryan's so-called romantic love was merely Sophia's long-planned scheme. Sophia's family background was rough. She hoped to find a man with money and not much intelligence to change her fate. Ryan arrived at just the right time, but unfortunately for her, I snagged him in our previous life. Ryan's face turned red with humiliation. If I didn't come, how would I know what you and your friends say about me? Sophia sneered. Calling me a cripple. Are they wrong? Look at you, you even need my help to use the bathroom. What else can you do? If it weren't to escape my family, who would want to be with a cripple like you? Ryan trembled all over. You said what? Sophia ignored his murderous glare. If I had known taking care of a cripple was this much trouble, I would have picked another target from the start. Ryan, let's get a divorce. Well, we haven't had the wedding yet, she muttered. It seemed Ryan's mother knew her son's situation and didn't allow him to be picky. Sophia nonchalantly punched him twice. Divorce? You think I don't want to? Serving you for 3 months makes me want to puke. If it weren't for your damn mother, you'd think I'd want to marry you. The seemingly innocent Sophia had transformed into a heartless beast. But someone like her was a perfect match for Ryan. I couldn't hold back and laughed. Finally they noticed me. Seeing me, Sophia quickly got rid of Ryan, who was now a hot potato. "You're just in time. Take your brother away." Back when Ryan and Sophia were secretly dating, he always told Sophia I was his sister. Sophia gave Ryan a cold look. "I'm going back to the party. Don't cause any more trouble." Without a backward glance, she walked away. Sophia left, leaving Ryan and me alone together. What he was going through now, this pain, this humiliation, it was exactly what I had endured back then. "Ryan," I said softly, "do you remember how your friends talked about me back then?" He turned his head away, his body trembling slightly. I could almost see the gears turning in his mind as he tried to avoid answering. "I'm sorry," he muttered. "I didn't know." "You knew everything," I interrupted. "You just didn't care, because it wasn't happening to you." He fell silent, and I decided to soften my words a little. "All right, don't be upset. In my opinion, Sophia's still quite good to you. She just scolded you a bit, but she didn't hand you over to some old pervert, right?" I meant to comfort him, but instead, his face paled even more. "No, Emma, let me explain." Before he could finish, I slapped him hard across the face. And then again. One slap wasn't enough. Maybe 2, maybe 3, I lost count. "How dare you speak of love?" My voice was shaking with anger. "Was letting your friends insult me love? Was sending me to other men love? Was cheating on me love? You don't love me. You just realized you're crippled, and your ideal girl won't love you anymore. So now you want someone who'll give you their all. Do you really think someone so selfish deserves to speak of love?" After that day, Ryan never came looking for me again. My life improved steadily after that. Occasionally, people would mention Ryan, commenting on how poorly he was doing. I heard that Sophia treated him decently in front of his mother, but behind closed doors, she abused him, though no one could figure out why. He simply endured it, probably because he truly loved her. Chloe called me a few times, treating me like a confidant. "That's Sophia. I used to think she was kind and gentle, but she's got such a black heart," she'd say. "Emma, if only you had married my cousin instead." I smiled at her suggestion. "Don't say that. Ryan and I are siblings." She pouted on the other end of the line. "But you're not real siblings. Mark just raised you for a few years. You're not even on the household register." "Emma," she continued, "maybe you should crash the wedding. It's next month." Hearing that made my eyelid twitch. A few days later, I remembered that before Ryan and I got married, Chloe hadn't been so hostile toward me. After we married, she suddenly changed, getting closer to Sophia. Now that Sophia was marrying Ryan. "Could it be?" I casually asked Chloe. "You don't like him, do you?" Before I could finish, she vehemently denied it. "No way. How could I like my cousin?" There was a brief silence, then Chloe hesitated. "All right, maybe a little. But he's my cousin. It's impossible for us. So I'm looking for a good sister-in-law for him." "Emma, you really don't consider my brother?" she asked hopefully. I laughed it off but secretly saved the conversation. "I'll think about it." Chloe cheered excitedly. A month later, I attended the wedding. When I arrived, Ryan was being pushed out by Sophia to greet the guests. He looked embarrassed, gritting his teeth. "Do you really have to drag me out here?" he muttered. Sophia slapped the back of his head. "Another word, and I'll tear your mouth apart." I couldn't believe their relationship had deteriorated so much. That they could still get married at all was thanks to Ryan's mother, who wanted to torture Sophia. When Ryan was healthy, she would have never allowed someone from Sophia's background near her son. But now that Ryan was crippled, families of equal status wouldn't want their daughters marrying him. Ryan's mother originally wanted me as her daughter-in-law, but Ryan insisted on being with Sophia. A few months ago, she couldn't face asking me to take Ryan back. Sophia's family loved money, so Ryan's mother simply gave them $300,000, effectively buying Sophia for Ryan. They happily handed over Sophia's household register after receiving the money. Initially, Sophia was willing to half-heartedly take care of Ryan, for the money. But after being tricked into marriage, she discovered she was bought out by Ryan's family. His mother wouldn't give her a penny more. Divorce? Sophia snapped. No way. Weren't they in love? Apparently not. Ryan saw me from a distance. His eyes lingered on my legs with longing. His mother didn't show up at the wedding, openly humiliating Sophia. I didn't understand. Had Ryan's family given up on him too? At the family table, Chloe noticed me and secretly gave me an okay gesture. It was her plan to release the memories of Ryan and me during the wedding. In her words, Ryan had feelings for me. He'd regret it and maybe even call off the wedding. This could ruin the ceremony and humiliate Sophia the most. But she didn't mention it would also put me in a tough spot. Her scheme was too loud, so I had to quietly make some adjustments. Isn't this Ryan's little sidekick? A familiar voice sneered. I turned to see one of Ryan's old buddies, someone who used to make things difficult for me. Judging by your eyes, you're still hung up on the cripple. Got some special kink or what? His words were rude, not just to me but to Ryan. Daniel, if you're not here for the meal, get out, Ryan said coldly beside me, scolding his former friend. Daniel sneered. You still think you're something. Look at you, crippled. I pity you. Then he dropped a bomb. Let me tell you, your dad has already taken your 12-year-old brother home. I was surprised. Ryan had a half-brother. Seemed like Ryan was abandoned by his father. As for his mother, Daniel, get out of here. Ryan was on the verge of fury, but he couldn't get up to hit him. Instead of leaving, Daniel sat down more casually. Get out, Ryan. What are you causing now? Sophia rushed over, annoyed. She made him have another scene today, didn't she? She kicked Ryan's crippled leg and started yelling and hitting him again. Give Ryan some face outside, will you? Daniel laughed. Besides, the ex is here too. He turned his gaze toward me. I didn't want to stir up trouble right now, but Daniel was so annoying, in both this life and the last. I grabbed the red wine on the table and splashed it right at him. He looked at me in shock. What you say about Ryan is your business, I warned. But keep your mouth clean when it comes to me. Otherwise, I won't hesitate to tell Ryan's family about your shady dealings in my last life. Daniel loved introducing girls to bosses with twisted preferences. That boss, the one who liked disabled women, was someone he arranged for Ryan. When Daniel heard me mention that guy, he immediately behaved like a scared quail. Emma! Ryan choked as he called my name. I'm sorry. I really didn't know life would be like this after the accident. The big screen suddenly started playing, interrupting Ryan's apology. I saw Chloe stand up excitedly. Emma, why don't you just crash the wedding? It's next month. Chloe, you wouldn't be into him, right? No way. How could I like my cousin? There was no video playing on the screen, but our conversation was clearly broadcasted to everyone. This already chaotic wedding turned even more chaotic. Chloe screamed for someone to turn off the screen. Sophia rushed forward and started beating her up. People around them were stunned and barely managed to hold her back. I clicked my tongue in surprise. Of course, a girl raised in a family that valued boys over girls wouldn't be a weak little flower. I found it ironic, thinking back to our previous serene chat in the restaurant. So peaceful in content. Amidst the chaos, I quietly left the scene with Ryan calling my name behind me. Later I heard what happened next from others. Chloe's hidden feelings were exposed, causing her parents to have a big argument with her uncle. They thought Ryan must have crossed a line, leading Chloe to develop inappropriate feelings. Ryan's uncle, Uncle Tom, already disappointed in him, completely gave up on him now. Even Ryan's mother reluctantly abandoned her son. Thankfully, the mistress had died early on. They could still treat the illegitimate son as their own and grow close to him. Sophia was half crazed by now. Her reputation was ruined, and the term shrew stuck to her like glue. She wanted a divorce, but Ryan's family wouldn't let her go. They blamed her for losing their son. If she hadn't messed with Ryan's mind, he and I would have ended up together. Given my feelings for Ryan, How could I not have saved him in that accident? I would have taken his place, and he would have married me. Such a move would have brought them good reputation. Their schemes thoroughly killed off any remaining sympathy I had for them. 6 months later, Ryan committed suicide, taking Sophia with him. I heard that Sophia had secretly connected Ryan to Daniel, who introduced him to an old man with special fetishes. Afterwards, Ryan lost his mind. Upon waking up, he cried, saying he realized his mistakes and cursed Sophia, wishing her a terrible death. Finally, in his delusion, he said that given another chance, he would choose Emma without hesitation. He hired people to sneak into his house, replacing Sophia's supplements with sleeping pills. When Sophia fell asleep, he set the house on fire, burning them both alive. After Ryan's death, I received a letter from him. It was probably just some meaningless apology. I didn't even open the envelope. I threw it straight into the trash. Another chance. No way. God doesn't give wicked people another chance. Even if it did, no matter how many times things repeated, I wouldn't waver for him again. I have clear life goals now, and I'll only become a better version of myself.